Hey folks, welcome to week 2, Nonprofit 302 Leadership. First, let me address the issue of the textbook. Hey, things happen, there's mix-ups. Somehow the bookstore got their wires crossed with me about what book I was going to use, and interestingly enough, they ordered a book that I hadn't used in a couple years, but we have this figured out, and how's it going to impact you? It's not. I responded to a number of emails, y'all freaking out. Oh my goodness, I don't have the book. I'm going to miss the first assignment. Are you going to take it out of my grade, or what am I going to do? How am I going to respond? The sky is falling. All right, chill. Take a big deep breath. It's all good. When the book comes, simply read the chapters that were assigned for week 1 and do the journal. And when you submit the journal, grade the journal, and you get credit for the journal. Enough said about week 1. Week 2. All right. So this week you got a handful of stuff to do. So this week, during week 2, we're really going to be focusing on the focus is really on the nonprofit leader. So I want you to read chapters 4 and 5. Chapter 4 is on this idea of missionary leadership and what that means, and how leaders embrace the mission of the organization that they're working in and for and through, and how embracing that mission informs their leadership style. Chapter 5 is transformational leadership, another leadership style, and these are leaders that transform their organizations, and they do that by transforming their staff and the volunteers and their programs. Their focus, their engagement, their outreach. And so the chapters aren't very long. After you've read chapter 4 and chapter 5, I want you to journal them. Again, here's the idea. I don't want a journal entry for each chapter. I want you to think about the 2 chapters you've read and give me a couple paragraphs about what you think about what you've read. Does it make sense to you? Can you see connections? Can you see parallels between what you're reading and what you know about leadership, or what you think you know about leadership, or maybe even as you see your own leadership characteristics and behaviors coming about? This week you're going to have your first discussion board. Now, discussion boards and journals are not the same. I have some discussion board prompts out there I want you to read and respond to. And then after you've read the 2 chapters, you've done the reading journal, you've done the first discussion board, I want you to take the quiz. Again, here's the idea of the quiz. The questions only come from the reading in the textbook. They are open-ended questions. I'm looking for depth and breadth of response. Don't regurgitate what you read out of the book. Don't cut and paste stuff out of the book and post that as your response, because I'm not going to look favorably on it. I really want you to think about the response. It's going to take you a couple paragraphs. Don't give me a sentence or 2, because when I read this, I got to figure out a test is an assessment. And why do you have tests? Because you need to be able to evaluate if students are learning, and if so, what are students learning. So I got to figure out if you're learning the material, and the only way I can do that is if I can read the response and see that you're getting it. So think about that kind of while you're writing the test. Each test is worth 25 points, so that by default each answer is worth 5 points. Again, if you're going to err on the side of being not enough information or too much information, err on the side of being overly thorough in your responses. Again, I want to remind everybody, the deadline for the week's work is Saturday night at midnight. So that means the journal, the discussion board, and the quiz all have to be completed by midnight. Let me give you some advice on the quiz, all the work. Don't start at 11 o'clock and think you're going to be done by 11:59. It's kind of unlikely. I mean, I'm not saying it could never happen. But my practice is I don't accept late work, so I think I'm giving you plenty of time. If anything happens with your textbook, I know a bunch of you are waiting for stuff to arrive. If you're really in a jam, let me know and I can work with you kind of on a case-by-case basis. But anyway, I want you to know again how grateful and thankful I am that you're in this class. I really hope you're going to learn something about leadership, and I think more than anything else, I hope you learn something about yourself. Good learning, true learning, deep learning only happens when you can apply what you hear, what you see, and what you've read. And so I hope that as we go through this material, you can see yourself in it. I hope you all have a really great week. Take some time for yourself. The weather should be very agreeable, at least cooler than it's been lately. So if you usually are not in the habit of getting outside, get outside. Take a walk, take a hike. Go see what a mountain looks like. Anyway, I hope you have a great week. And if you need anything, if something comes up, email me, text me, call me. I'm here to help you. All right? So I'll look forward to your work and taking a look at it, and I'll certainly see you virtually next week. So hang in there.